All right, wicked. Well, hello everyone. So I am Artful Hobbes, and I'm here with my wonderful co-commentator, Nbeard.
Hello, hello.
And this is going to be the F-Zero GX story mode run on very hard difficulty. Now, what I absolutely love about this run is that it's a story mode run in a racing game. That is pretty much unheard of for anything. I don't know. Can you think of anything else that has a story mode in a racing game?
I mean, not necessarily to this extent, and definitely not to this quality of story,
Mm-hmm.
because we've got it's a treat. Let me just leave it at that.
It is a treat. So, little introduction. There's a big Grand Prix coming up, and Captain Falcon has to train for it, and then hilarity and adventure ensues when he tries to win this race.
Yeah.
So
That's the story, and then within the game, this is an amazingly deep racing game that's got a lot of depth to it. There's a lot of skill involved in this game, and it's one of those things that just comes together to be such a perfect package. And hopefully, we'll be able to show you a lot of what's great about this game here today.
all right, perfectly said, and I think I'm ready to get started here. Okay, that's working. 3, 2, 1.
All right. So this first chapter here, basically, he's got to go through the course. There's 3 laps and a time limit, and he's got to collect every single one of these capsules on the course. During this, we're going to mostly go over some of the most important advanced techniques in this game, starting with the key one, which is momentum throttling. And what that is basically holding the acceleration button brings you up to your top speed, like in any racing game, of course. However, in this racing game, when you are above your car's natural top speeds, for example, being shortly after a boost or any other boost of speed, you actually decelerate faster towards what your car's normal top speed is. So you can see in the bottom right, he's usually going about a little over 1,000. When he's going well above that, he actually wants to let go of the accelerator, and he'll keep that extra speed for longer.
The first lap is notoriously the most difficult to really get through. With chapter 1, especially, well, I guess for a few chapters, is the margin for error is incredibly small. In this chapter, if you don't get certain capsules on specific laps, then the run is over. You got to restart. This comes for clearing the game as well as the actual speedrun itself. This game is all about high risk, high reward. If you want to go really fast and if you want to get the best times, you're going to have to put yourself in a lot of danger.
So you can see a lot of the routes he's taking through the capsules are kind of diagonal. Hit as many of them in one go as possible. One of the things that definitely helps is another useful technique called quick turning. You'll be able to see when he does this, he'll turn in a way that looks almost unnaturally quick. No, this is looking pretty good. So between that and momentum throttling, those are some of the ones that are very basic. It's kind of fun how the most important technique in this game is literally letting go of the go button. Nice clear.
All right. I guess I'll set this over to the left here. All right. Chapter 2 is all about a very specific kind of advanced technique called shift boosting, and I'll let you take it away here.
Yeah, so shift boosting, I will wait until he starts doing it so you can see what I mean, but basically, it's a way of kind of gaining stacking speed on certain types of courses, specifically ones that don't have railing, which this canyon, Red Canyon, the entire right side is wide open. So he's able to shift boost off this. And now, so you'll watch and see what he does. He's going to go off just like that and immediately go back on. When you leave the stage for a short time, you gain a small boost of speed. Normally, you just die because you're off the stage. But if you're able to get back on, you're kind of able to maintain that speed, and you can see it stacking, and his speed is getting, well up into the 2000s now.
Bummer.
Oh.
The thing about shift boosting, though, is that you mess up once and you die. So there's that. Mm-hmm.
High risk, high reward. So, yeah, this is there's a lot of speed runs. The early levels are kind of considered a jail of sorts. So you gotta work to get out of it. You're trapped within there because not only is it early in the run, so you can choose whether to reset, but it's a lot of the stages early on, and some are pretty grueling. This being one of them. Especially being as early in the run as it is, you generally want to do it as ooh. Yeah, so you can see how those shift boosts they stack functionally. There's another thing you can kind of see him doing as he goes around these corners. It kind of looks like he's sliding out. We'll explain that in a little bit. That's not him losing control. That's actually another very important technique. Kind of one of the key ones in this game. But now we're getting into chapter 3, which has a ton of really cool stuff. One of the coolest things visually in this game is when you start getting into some of the aerial movement techniques. And hopefully we'll be able to see some of these shown off here.
There are offensive tools in this game with side attacking or spin attacking. And if you combine this with aerial movement, you can actually increase your speed while traveling through the air.
Yeah, so we'll see once he gets to some of the laps here, but so typically the first lap of each race, you do not have the ability. There's the aerial spin attacks. You could see how he's able to move using them and cut off just a good amount of the course. And with that jump, you saw how he went down right away. Unless you can typically use a jump for shortcut purposes, you typically want to be on the ground. It's faster to move on the ground. So whenever he takes jumps like that, he'll nosedive straight in. But as I was saying, now that it's lap 2, he gains his boost. Your boost and your health are linked together, which is, again, risk reward. You can go faster, but you're at higher risk if you do expend all of it. So,
nice. Nailed that trick right away.
So yeah, jumps like that. You could see a lot of the stuff in the background doesn't have collision. This game does have notable check marks. There are a lot of quote unquote shortcuts that people think they might be able to take, but it skips a checkpoint, and as a result, the game doesn't register it as being authentic. But that one there, it's a very nice one, goes right through that pillar.
Nice.
So at the end there, he did kind of what's called a momentum turbo rail slide, which is an extension of that sliding technique I touched upon earlier, but done against a rail. It's typically done just at the end of a race like that.
Because it will greatly increase your speed for a short duration and then quickly bring the speed back down.
Yeah.
I don't know why it works, but it does. So it's pretty cool.
So this, you described this stage as kind of like a old school beat 'em up.
It is. Game. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up in a racing game. So the main goal here,
those offensive moves you mentioned earlier, they aren't just for speed boosts, and I'll let you take it from here.
All right. So to start this one off, you can actually use some of your boost to try to get ahead of the pack. The only problem with this one, though, is that there's hordes of enemy AI, and they don't play very nice. So I'll probably take her a little bit safe here.
Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of see here's all the enemies just coming up on you. Under the lap timer, you can see he's got 1 golden skull. I believe that means he's gotten 10 kills. there's the other type of attack, the spin attack. That one's done by pressing the Z button. The side attack is it X? Or is it Y?
Typically it's X. I like to set mine to B. I think I'll try and take care of this guy right here.
Yeah, but
and then I'll boost here.
Yeah, the guy marked rival up ahead. You have to kill him before you finish this race. Otherwise it doesn't count.
He's the only one that you have to kill, but he's only programmed to come down on 2 occasions, and that's if you've defeated everybody or if you're at the very last stretch of the course.
Yeah.
Now,
one other note is you'll notice even though he boosted a lot, he was able to get that energy back by killing a number of the small guys. Every time you kill somebody, you do get a small boost of energy back.
Ooh. There's a bunch of guys coming in now. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Right at the end. All right, so it's not particularly used here, but I'll take this opportunity to kind of explain basically a momentum turbo slider, an MTS. In the first and second chapters, and kind of sometimes in the third, you saw how he was kind of sliding to the side, and there'd be skid marks. That's what's called an MTS, and it's basically, without going into the technical details of how to do it, it's another extremely important technique in this game. You will be seeing a lot of it coming up, and we'll hopefully go into it then. But yeah, this one
is definitely tricky too, because no matter how much you practice it, sometimes the AI is just really mean to you.
Yeah. And that just comes with the job of certain games, and speedrunning is, sometimes you will get situations where not much you can do.
Yeah, like right there, he spun just as I approached the back of him, and there's really not much you can do in that situation. This is one of the trickiest chapters in the run because it's so unpredictable.
Yeah. But it does have a good song.
Oh, it has the best song in the game, in my opinion.
It definitely, I mean, this game does have a lot of great songs. So that's this one. It's interesting because it's unique to just this chapter.
It is. There are actually 4 chapters in story mode that have completely unique music.
This game's got a lot of unique music. Every single character has their own unique theme.
It really lets you know just how much love and care was put into this game when every character has their own mini theme song.
Yeah. No, this game, definitely one of those things you don't see often anymore. So, yeah, we're coming up again. There's only 8 left, but again, as you mentioned, you have to kill all of them for him to calm down, which at this point, they're so far behind you, it's not worth it.
All right, that felt pretty good, though. I was able to put a good amount of distance between me and the pack, so I think this should be okay.
Yeah, and you've got a nice little buffer of energy, so even if Michael Chain tries to pull something, hopefully you'll be fine. The biggest thing you kind of have to watch out for at some points is, even if you side attack into an enemy and they're spin attacking, you will still take damage. Ooh. So,
got him.
Very nice. Okay, and that's chapter 4. So now we're going on to chapter 5. So what's important about this one is, I mentioned momentum throttling earlier, which is just letting go of the A button when you're above a certain speed threshold. In this one, you combine it with your mini boost, your boost, to do basically what's called an MT boost, or a momentum throttle boost. So basically, it's just letting go at the right time during a boost, and you'll be able to extend that boost and get a lot more out of it than you normally would be able to.
Mm-hmm.
This stage is a grueling 40 seconds of nothing but execution, even casually. It's very tight. You have to get these capsules to refill your energy power, and these doors close on you. And both the gaps left by the doors as well as the hitboxes of the capsules themselves are very, very tight. And you can see here, basically, he's doing a good job of getting all the capsules. Normally, if you're playing casually, you cannot miss a single capsule, but with MT boosting, you are afforded one miss. Let's see if he even... or hits like that, because those burn into your energy. 3, 2...
No!
Oh!
Sometimes, though, the game just doesn't let you win either. I don't know what it is about that final door, but sometimes it just doesn't let me through.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see he played that really well. He hit one thing, and that's how tight this level is. That's how little leeway you've got. This one, if you've played this game casually, or even if you've just heard of it, you're probably well aware that it has a grueling reputation for being extremely difficult. This one is probably one of those reasons people are thinking about.
Another reason we'll be seeing very shortly.
Oh, yes.
What? Look, man!
That was... Ooh. That was mind-boggling.
I guess I wasn't going completely straight enough.
So, we do have a good amount of time here. If for your own preferences you would prefer to do a start over from scratch, we do have the okay to do that, Avery.
Mm-hmm.
But depends on kind of how you want to go about this. Obviously, one thing could be is if we finish the run, maybe you just want to show a specific stage over a bit better. If there's a trick you missed or anything like that.
I would talk, but I am focusing.
No, yeah, I figured maybe stage 5 isn't the best time to mention that. I'll wait until stage 7.
Yeah, that one's better. Whoa.
Yeah, so that one clip, this looks... Yeah, it's... The ramp's not working.
The ramp isn't working. I think you have to be, like, completely... Practically centered and going completely straight in order to get out of that door.
Which, it's... You might be saying, well, hey, the boosts are lining up to the ramp. Why don't you just go through the middle? Well, there's one important thing to consider about boosts in this game, where if you hit, you'll notice that he's deliberately going for the edges of the boost, and there's a reason for that. It gives you more of a boost if you hit one of those boost pads on the side than it does if you go down the middle. And when it's coming down to 3 seconds like that, you kind of want to hit it.
This is ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, no, this ramp does not like you. But it's one of those things where, because he needs to hit the sides of those boost pads, he has to hit the last one and then correct into the middle. Because if you go through the center of those boost pads, you aren't going to get as much speed as you would going through the sides.
Just for safety's sake, I tend to not go for the side of the boost pads on this chapter specifically, just to make sure that I get through the door.
Yeah.
But evidently, Jody does not want me to have that today.
Yeah. There we go. Ooh, that was good.
There we go. All right.
Finally.
And I did miss a booster there, or a boost capsule there.
Yeah,
so you can't make it without one. It's just very close.
Only if you have, like, pretty much perfect MT boosts, which most casual players will not.
Mm-hmm. With a marathon run, I don't feel... Oh, wait, hold on. Yes! That's my favorite quote from the whole story is, "Falcon, you've come to die."
So this level's this level's basically the plot of the movie Speed. He's got a bomb strapped on top of his car by Blood Falcon, who came out of him.
Yes, in a very glorious cutscene, which you should all watch, by the way.
And then, so you'll notice at the bottom of the speed speedometer on the left, 800 is death. If you drop below 800, you explode and you die. You'll also notice that there is just regular cars on this highway. They're just minding their own business, trying to get home. And
long day at the office.
If you hit them, good chance that that's the end of the level.
Well,
you've got a bit of leeway.
Give you a little bit of leeway. If you hit one of the larger ones, it's over.
Same with hitting the rails. If you glance off the side, you're going to be fine. But if you hit one almost dead on, that's going to be the end of the run. And we're going to see another hazard that we saw before but never came into play much. It's there's dirt, which slows you down if you are not boosting over it. And if you hit the dirt on this stage without boosting, again, you're probably going to slow down and blow up.
Which is very unfair. I'm pretty sure everybody on their first try hit the gravel, and before they realized it was too late, they lost.
Yeah.
I know it happened to me when I played it.
And the gravel comes in pretty late in this level. Like, he's already over a minute in. We haven't even seen it yet. So, just one of those... This is a very mean story mode. This level, not as mean as the last one. Definitely not as mean as the next one.
This chapter is definitely the vibe check of the run. It's not overly difficult once you get the hang of it, but there's barely any speedrun tech. It's just all about taking the corners really well and utilizing your boost really well. Because there's only one... Actually, no, there's no refiller. So you pretty much just have to play it through optimally.
So there, now he's passing over it. You can see the dirt there. Ooh.
You know what? We're okay.
Yeah. So you can see how he's taking... this game offers you a lot of control over your turns, especially. That's one of the things that I really love about this game is just the combination of the drifts and turns and some of the mechanics behind it. I mentioned quick turning before, but just a lot about it. And
that very last hairpin turn, it also pretty much gets everybody the first time they try this. The first time they try to beat the chapter.
Here we have the most infamous chapter of the game. If you've heard about how difficult this game is, this is on very hard. Even on the regular difficulty, this chapter is painful. So, basically, despite what the next chapter will try to tell you, this chapter is this game's version of hell. Even though the next chapter exists, we'll get into that. What he's going to do is he's going to try to take out one of his rivals right away here, and we'll see if he's able to do that.
No, not quite.
So he tried to take out Black Bull, and why that's difficult and why he wanted to do it is because a number of the characters on this stage have extra stats. They've got extra health, extra energy. So first of all, that means they're harder to take out. Second of all, that means they've got more boost power on the later laps. And lastly, AI in this stage has severe rubber banding. Basically to the point where, and they're aggressive. There's a good example of them being extremely aggressive.
I think that was Mighty Gazelle coming back from the grave, bouncing off of the wall, and then knocking me off the course.
But you can see he got him with a direct side attack hit. But normally a direct side attack hit would be enough to take out a racer in...
Oh, hey, I got him.
Hey, there we go.
Sometimes you get lucky enough and you take your shot and you're able to get rid of Black Shadow or Blood Falcon.
Yep, and they are the two big ones. That's not saying the other racers aren't a threat, but Black Shadow and Blood Falcon are by and far your main rivals in this chapter. So on this chapter, now he's hit the boost laps, and we're going to be able to see MTSing come into effect here on the ice. You can see how he's sliding off into the aerial side attacks. It looked like he was drifting out of control, but that was intentional. Ice actually makes pulling that off a lot easier and a lot more impactful, because you are able to immediately skid out like that. So, yeah, 5 laps for this one? Yep, 5 laps. Basically, it's just, you're going to see that the AI is probably going to get a time better than most human casual players are capable of doing because of aforementioned rubber banding. Even, he's not even necessarily going for any shift boosts on this stage. There is portions where you can do that. But even just MT boosts, momentum throttling, quick turning, and the MTSs on these ice sections will have him going so fast that the AI, rubber banding as it is going to just speed up to an unnatural degree by themselves. There we go. I was a bit nervous, the fact that you had no energy there.
Trust the process.
I know. Alright, nice MTS there. It really does look scary if you aren't familiar with this stage. It looks like he falls off and is going to die, but no, it's intentional. And those aerial side attacks really come in handy there. Alright, that should be it.
Okay.
Pretty solid chapter 7. Only one weird rewrite or restart where Mighty's Gazelle came in. So,
yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. Now we're actually going to hell.
Now we're racing Satan in hell.
Yeah, so basically the plot of this next chapter is we have to race Satan to death. Well, Deathborn, but he's Satan. And there's one notable technique that we're going to be seeing shown off here. Landmines are on the stage. You could see the lava on the last stage. There's lava on this one as well. That just is a hazard that takes your health away. On this one, there's also landmine. Well, there's landmines on the last one. Landmines also do a hefty amount of damage to your health, but you'll notice they're also giving him a hefty little speed boost. So on this first lap, because he does not have boost power, he's going to be trying to take as many of these landmines as he can, because they give him a speed boost, and more importantly, or just as important, they get rid of them for later laps. Because if you're boosting and going fast and hit one of those on a later lap, you're probably going to fly off the course. So
if you're really good at mine boosting, you can often get in front of Deathborn before the start of Chapter 2, but it's pretty hard.
Yeah. Unlike the last chapter, we don't believe Deathborn has any rubber banding. He just has a set time. So, yeah, that's the last we'll see of him, hopefully. Knock on wood. And yeah, now instead of using the mine boost, he just, of course, has access to his regular boost, which, now it's pretty much just business as usual. He's coming up on a very difficult turn where you're going to see, that's
probably showcase it better in some later laps.
Yeah.
But if you MTS that turn properly, you will not hit the wall, and you'll still keep your speed up.
Yeah. But, yeah, so you can see on the mini-map, he is quite a ways away from Deathborn there. It's compared to the last level, this one is mind-bogglingly easy. Now, one thing, maybe some of you might be wondering, okay, well, he took out Black Bull in the last one, and there's whole chapter 4 about killing people, killing other racers, taking them out of the race, right? Why not try to just, if this is a 1v1, why not try to take him out at the start of the race? There are two reasons kind of against that. First of all, he's just got a ton of health. And second of all, he does respawn. So there's really no point to it. Like he'll come back in a couple seconds because I guess this is his domain, and the laws of death do not apply to him unless he loses a race, which as we'll see in the next chapter, covers the laws of all creation supposedly.
The dark side of the champion's belt is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. And as you can see, yeah, we're 15 seconds ahead of him, so there's really no rubber banding on this guy. I'm not even sure if he boosts. I think he just has increased stats.
You were mentioning that. Like, he has increased stats, which goes faster and all that, but, that means that's another thing going back to what I was saying, is if he doesn't boost, there's no reason to cut into his health. All right, and now we just raced Satan to death. Now it's time to race the gods of the F-Zero universe to death as well.
What's crazy is that this whole course you fight a staff ghost, which means it's the creators of the game inputting their own ghost for you to race against. So you're literally fighting God. It's wonderful.
So there are a few things to note about this track. There's no rails anywhere, which, for him, it's not going to be a problem because he knows what he's doing. But for a casual player, it could be quite easy just to go off because there's some tight turns on here. I
want to at least showcase you can shift boost on this chapter, but it's harder than chapter 2.
Yes. So, yep, you can see the shift boosting already kind of ahead of the staff ghost. Because it's a staff ghost, you don't have to worry about interfering with it at all. You can't hit it can't hit you. There's nothing to worry about. And because there is no walls, you can't hit that. So once we get into the boost laps, obviously the first lap you don't have boost power. Once we get into the boost laps, he can use all of his boosts with no repercussions. There's that jump, which always looks scary to me, but always looks cool. And then also one interesting thing about this is that patch of health he just hit, that's the only patch in this course. So one of the notable things about this one is, all
according to plan. Don't worry about it.
Definitely intended. One of the notable things about it is you kind of just have to choose when you use your boosts. There's no worry about saving health, as I mentioned, so you basically just get 1 bar of boost per lap. And then coming back up on this, falling off, doing the aerial side attacks. And it's, a lot of it, both Chapter 8 and 9 compared to Chapter 7 are a lot more tame, especially casually. This one, if you're going for, I believe you said the record is getting to a point where players are going to have to start shift boosting on this level to really bring times down.
Well, me especially. I am currently 3rd best in the world at this category. When a run is going right. But if I want to start taking whoa! Well, that didn't go very well. But if I want to start taking the runs to the next level, I too am going to have to start actively shift boosting. So just to close this run out, I'll probably just do a casual run through.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a little underwhelming, especially the first lap if you aren't shift boosting, because there's no boosts. There's just kind of standard turns. It's a pretty simple track.
This part right here is pretty gnarly.
Like that turn, and then this trick he pulls off on the top of this hill.
I'll probably wait for the next lap to do that.
Yeah, and that's kind of really the only notable tech. But yeah, it's
dang, dude.
Ooh. It's one of those ones where the whole level doesn't have shift boosting, or it doesn't have rails, so you can shift boost on pretty much any point of it. It's a little harder to get the visual tell, and because it's just a flat surface, it might even, not confirmed, but we kind of believe it might be harder to actually execute the shift boosts.
I think it is.
Yeah, there's no collision to kind of boost you back up if you're a little bit late. You just slide under the track and die.
It certainly feels that way. With Red Canyon, yeah, you have the entire wall going down the side of the canyon. Yeah. And for whatever reason, I think that makes it so that shift boosting is more consistent on that stage. It feels a lot more tight on this one, more frame tight.
There's also the human element. Red Canyon stage 2, so you're like, I'm just gonna shift boost through it, and if I restart, I have to just do stage 1, whereas this is the final stage. You hit here, you're either just doing a full run for practice sake, or you've got a good run going. So shift boost, every single shift boost is a lot more nerve-wracking than any shift boost on Red Canyon, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Even the accidental ones, especially the accidental ones.
Oh,
my third place run, I nearly died on this level, I think like 3 times.
I thought they were intentional, and every single time I watched you do it, my heart skipped a beat. I was just like, what is going on? Alright, final lap.
Alright, probably take it easy for this last lap here, just to close out the run.
Yeah, but either way, this game is honestly, in my opinion, the best racing game ever made, at least my personal favorite. I used to speedrun this game myself, not the story mode, I did individual levels. But going over there.
All right, so once again, not the cleanest run in the world, but I at least got to show off some of the strats. And look, this game is hard. If people who have come into my stream are well aware that the run dies chapter 1, chapter 2, 3, 4, it could die at any time. Because you get good enough, you have to do everything first try, or the run is over. It's a very difficult game.
Hey, I'm just popping in, but a couple of people in the chat were saying second run. Do you wanna do another? We got time.
Yeah, I'm game for a second run.
Yeah, if you got the energy for it, go for it, man. I believe in you.
I am all for that.
So yeah, we can go in. I'm keeping an eye on it. I don't know if anybody has any specific questions about any mechanics or anything like that.
Yeah, you can answer questions. We'll pop some stuff in the chat here, and weird. Thanks.
Yeah.
Q&A for the second run.
So, you'll see he's constantly going towards max speed every time. Generally, for the vast majority of vehicles in the game, you just kind of go to that. There's 2 exceptions that you pointed out to me, one of which was very strange. What was the one where it was like 80-something% is actually the...
So, yeah, Deathborn's vehicle, the Dark Schneider, if you set the speed to 89%, it actually it gets a higher top speed than it would going all the way to the right. Or all the way at max speed. Which is really weird how that works. It has something to do with, like, the hidden vehicle stats. I'm in the F-Zero Nexus Discord, and I found that fact, like, fascinating.
Yeah, this game is one of those games where I can easily see just people finding weird things for years to come, because it's got so many moving parts that come together in great ways. All right, pretty.
All right.
Very clean looking chapter 1. There we go. I didn't want to say anything prematurely. I'm like, he's still got that last little group to get, but that was pretty solid.
Thankfully, yeah, with chapter 1, you reset on chapter 1 like quite often because, like I said, you miss one and it's like, fine, I'll just reset the run.
Yep. That's pretty standard for a lot of speed runs in general. If the chapter 1 doesn't go too well, like you don't lose much time. So back to chapter 2.
So doing
Ace, yes. You do not have a choice. You can only use Falcon in the Blue Falcon in story mode. Typically in actual courses, people will either use the Fat Shark, which is one of the AX cars, or they will use a custom car called the Gallant Star G4. And I believe those are typically the ones used for max speed. There is snaking in this game. Doesn't particularly come up in the story mode that much, but snaking does exist as well.
Black Bull is also a very notable high-speed machine as well.
Yeah,
just because the Black Bull's MTS is very, very good.
Yep. Black Bull is pretty much the best car you've got access to early on, because you need to buy all the parts. You need to get all the custom parts, which takes some time, and you also need to unlock the AX cars. So if you're just getting started, good chance that you're going to be using the Black Bull. And it's honestly just a pretty good car in general. So, but yeah, the Blue Falcon, it's, for story mode, it's not too bad. It gets the job done.
All right, 42 seconds. After the warm-up, this is feeling a lot better.
Yeah. Now
so the fastest I've ever done Chapter 2 has been 37 seconds, which is still 10 seconds slower than the world record of Chapter 2, which is a ludicrous run. Keep in mind, you want to beat that chapter casually, I usually average around a minute and 11 seconds. So
shift boosting makes a big difference.
Substantial.
That's why Chapter 2 has such variance in the times. It's because of shift boosting, and is there a TAS of Chapter 9? I would love to watch that.
I know there's a TAS of Chapter 2, and it's like 15 seconds long or something.
Probably insane. Yeah, the Chapter 9 TAS would probably be insanely fast as well. So yeah, you can see there, after that one, he just dives down immediately because it's just faster. He's diving down whenever he gets a chance to on any of these jumps. Your movement speed on the ground is faster than that airborne. So now he's got boost power, which just changes everything. Being able to boost
certainly makes the game a lot flashier.
Oh, absolutely.
Something to note on that specific jump as well. If you take it too sharply, you actually miss a checkpoint, and the game just explodes your vehicle.
Yep. So yeah, that's kind of goes back to what I was mentioning the last time on Chapter 3. Like, there's a lot of individual levels that have jump pads, and those ones.
That was close.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of shortcuts that casual players might look and be like, hey, why didn't he jump over there? If you ever see anything like that, basically they need to make sure they hit a checkpoint before they take the rest of the shortcut. So that's why he's going a little bit wide on that turn instead of just like, oh, I'm gonna cut halfway across the stage. There's a technique called momentum turbo sliding, and if you do that against a rail, you actually get quite a significant speed boost for a short duration before you come crashing to a halt. So you'll notice he only does that at the end of the third lap, because he can take advantage of that speed boost, and then the race ends. It's already over. Who cares if you slow down when you already got first, right? One thing you might have seen if you have watched speedruns of individual levels or time trials is what's called a suicide finish. So you crash into the wall until your car explodes. But if your exploding car crosses the finish line, and so when your car explodes, you also get a massive speed boost. Kind of if you're going against a wall like that. A lot of people will do that, explode, and it'll boost them across the finish line. That's not applicable to story mode. You do have to be alive for story mode chapters to count. But that's one thing that a lot of people might have seen if they've watched other runs of this game before.
Those guys are a little too far ahead to hit him.
Yeah.
This has been a pretty good chapter 4, though. Feeling happy about this one.
Yeah, you're going into the... Yeah, this one's actually pretty clean. Just hope they don't cause you too much grief. I think you got a little bit of a buffer.
A little bit. I don't think I'm far enough ahead to fully be clear of the pack. I think they're gonna come up and attack me in a little bit here. But honestly, it's better for them to do it now than to do it at the very end of the race.
Like
where,
that first one, that was insane.
Because at least now, you can just wait for them to pass you and just hit them.
Yep, and get some energy back. So we're coming up on the... There we go. It should be good. Yep, there he goes. And there
150. This has been a very good run, barring the
restart on chapter 2, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's fine. I mean, it's chapter 2. Obviously, that's... Between how early it is and how difficult it is. Any level that does need a redo, that's going to be the one. Well, early on, obviously. I say as we're going into chapter 5 here. Let's see if the ramp cooperates this time.
Chapter 5 is an oddball. There is no chaos factor. It's the exact same every single time, but sometimes the ramp just doesn't work.
So again, for those just joining us, what makes this one difficult is, first of all, it's just an incredibly difficult level with not a lot of leeway. These doors and the obstacles. When you're going up in a cylinder like this, it can be very difficult to tell when you need to stop turning, even for experienced players. What he's doing is a technique called MT boosting. You can't visually see it, but he's getting a lot more out of each boost he does than a casual player does. As I mentioned at the start of this showcase, the most important technique in this game is letting very nice ramp cooperator.
Just clenched a little bit.
The most important technique in this game is called momentum throttling, and what momentum throttling is functionally letting go of the accelerator when you're above your car's top speed. It keeps that speed longer than if you would hold the accelerator, and by combining that with the boosts last longer.
I believe, yeah, because there's a tiny bit of a buffer between when your boost ends and when you can boost again. And right when it ends, your speed, drastically drops. But if you release A just at that moment, it doesn't drop as much.
Yep.
And so you only have that technique, and it saves upwards of a couple seconds. Which, in a speedrun setting, can mean everything.
I've never actually gotten a good look at the models of these things. They aren't based on any existing cars, I don't think. I think they're... Well, maybe that one was. Do you know if the models of any of these are based off other racers' cars, or are they unique for this course alone?
I believe they're unique to this course.
Those big truck-looking ones definitely are unique to this one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is... For having a bomb strapped to a vehicle going 1,000 kilometers an hour, this stage is not as exciting as one might think.
Definitely the downtime of the run. The calm before the storm, if you will.
Yep.
The last 3 chapters are definitely the most stress-inducing.
Especially the especially Chapter 7.
Actually, I find myself stressing out more with Chapter 8 and 9. My Chapter 7s have become a lot more consistent, which is crazy to think that starting out in the game, everybody dreads Chapter 7.
Yeah, that's good to know. Like, it's one of those things where, as I mentioned, I only did individual times on certain few courses, specifically Dragon Slope, but so most of what I knew about story mode was from playing through it semi-casually, and just what I, hearsay.
It is honestly a badge of pride that you can say that you beat F-Zero GX's story mode.
It is. It's got a reputation for a reason.
Ooh.
All right.
That was my phone notification. It actually has you got boost power.
That is a fantastic phone notification.
Thank you. I also have Zuko saying, "That's rough, buddy." And my phone has perfect comedic timing. All right, 231.
Perfect.
Wait, that was a gold split?
Wow.
Hey, gold split, I guess. Yeah, whatever, I'll take it.
All right, so again, I'm gonna try to take out the Black Bull off the start here.
Notification. Oh no, my precious frames. I lost a second to phone tech. Whatever will I do?
I don't think that the cars in the F-Zero trophies in Melee are to scale. Yes, he is 12'7". That is true. He is definitely 12'7".
Captain Falcon?
Yeah,
definitely.
Gotta be.
Not quite. I think I got to do it a little bit earlier than that to get him. Oh, he's spinning.
But yeah, for anyone looking to get into this game, I highly suggest it if you do have a, good GameCube controller. This game does require the analog triggers that the GameCube controller has.
Oh my god, I hit Billy.
If you if you are playing this game on other hardware, you need to use a GameCube controller or another controller that does have those adaptable triggers. I would also love a new F-Zero, just for having it. I don't know if it would ever be as good as this game. I don't know if they can top this game.
There it is.
I did learn recently that apparently the Nintendo Switch can read the GameCube's adaptive triggers. There is a racing game that does use them. So if Nintendo ever does port this game, hopefully they allow us to use the GameCube controller adapter with the triggers. But yeah, for the longest time, I thought that there's no way they could port this game and have it be the same, because for a lot of the turning techniques, you really need to be able to use the analog triggers and half press those for some of the drifts and some of the turns. Go good MTS again. There's you can see him kind of skidding out on the ice there. That is intentional. That's a momentum turbo slide. It's just one of the many cool techniques this game has.
It really is the Super Smash Bros. Melee of racing games.
It's just got a lot of interesting physics quirks and techniques that really add up to a really interesting experience. I just always love that slide off into the aerial side attacks. But yeah, as I brought up earlier, you can see he's always trying to hit the sides of those boost pads. It does give you a better boost. What is Blood Falcon doing there? There we go.
He's just doing his best. So yeah, I did end up killing Black Shadow early, so
Okay.
this makes Chapter 7 way easier when you don't have to worry about Busted Stats McGee over there.
Yep.
You only have to worry about the other one.
Yeah, you really only have to worry about... Once you get out of the pack, Black Shadow and Blood Falcon are the only two that are kind of on you, in general. But while you're in the pack, I believe last run it was... you said it was Mighty Gazelle who took you out.
Because I killed him, and he ricocheted off the wall, and then sent me off the track and killed me. So that's just the physics engine of the game being at work.
There we go.
And you can see there that Blood Falcon even had a red health bar, so he was running out of energy trying to keep up.
And he was... Oof. So, but yeah, you can see on the mini-map how close Blood Falcon was, despite how well that was played. That was a really, really... reset aside, really good Chapter 7.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we only got 4 minutes left in the block, but if I'm able to first try both of these, then we should be able to wrap it up pretty quickly.
Yeah. So now, racing Deathborn again.
You mean Satan?
Yep. Racing Satan.
He definitely has one of the coolest vehicles, though.
He really does. This game obviously has a lot of cool vehicles. Like, I remember I never actually played F-Zero X as a kid, and I didn't have an SNES, so I never played F-Zero. So my first experience with a lot of these vehicles was, of course, Melee on Big Blue. You get to see they've got all of them in there, every single one, and you can see obviously a little more, scaled down than in this game, but generally they've all got the same appearance. So that was my first exposure to a lot of the designs of this game. I remember, I believe it was
Oh, he hit me! Let's go, Deathborn!
I believe it was a demo disc that I first saw footage of this game, and I was just like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I need that game. So it came out, I got it.
I don't know how I acquired this game. I think it just randomly appeared by my GameCube one day.
It does that. Yeah, to this day, like, this is one of the racing games that even when I was playing it casually, it gave me, like, the best actual feeling of what going fast feels like. Like, it does a really good job of portraying the speed of the vehicles.
Yeah, it doesn't use, like, fancy, like, camera work or camera tricks. Or, like, where it pulls the camera back and, like, dims the lighting or whatever. There's none of that.
Yeah.
It's just the course goes by faster. No smoke and mirrors, which is really... It's the sense of speed and also this game's control.
Yep, it control, like, it doesn't... A lot of these futuristic kind of anti-grav... Ooh! A lot of these futuristic anti-grav racers kind of really feel floaty sometimes.
I agree.
Whereas this one, it doesn't. It feels... It's nice to control. Just a pleasant time. Except when everything's going wrong, then it's a stressful time.
That's true. But then you can always reset and try again. Yeah, I tried to do the MTS on that turn, and my fingers messed up, and then I just careened into a bomb and flew off the course and died.
Yeah, that happened. That's just... I think that happened to me Thursday morning on my way to work. It's just a daily occurrence, right?
Someone left their mine on the road, and I just happened to hit it into the wall.
Who left this here again? If it ain't potholes, it's landmines.
I wonder if that's a natural thing in the F-Zero universe. Where, like, instead of, like...
Just there's some guy going to work, and he's just like, this landmine's been here for, like, a week. When's road construction gonna get rid of it?
You fool! Road construction put it there!
They used it to fill the pothole.
You think they used safety cones? Nope.
Do you think potholes would affect an F-Zero racer? I mean, dirt on the ground does.
Depends how big the pothole is. If it's small enough, I think he'll be okay. If it's a large pothole, then the announcer goes off course as they careen into the ditch.
Yeah, you got boost power.
Which is actually, the
That's
announcer
another
is
thing.
the same guy as the guy who did F-Zero, or not F-Zero, Fast RMX.
Huh. Yeah, the announcer in this game is fantastic. Another fantastic aspect of this game that you can't particularly see in story mode, but when you finish a Grand Prix, there's a little interview segments which are always always a joy. Like for a racing game, like the amount of stuff they just put into a lot of the characters is just above and beyond. That's what I want a new F-Zero for. Is, you know, I might come back to this for the gameplay, but just more of the world, more of these characters. And, same mine too.
That's unfortunate. You know what? It's past 8 o'clock. I think I might call it there. Never really got to finish the second run, but you know what? I think I gave the folks at home a good showcase of like the speed of what this game has to offer, and yeah, just the control and what I love about this game and everything. So I think with the block wrapping up, I wanted to say, hey, you should follow my Twitch because I speedrun this game. If you didn't know. It'll be twitch.tv/Artful Hobbes. You can also follow me on Twitter @Artful Hobbes if you want, updates on when I go live for this game. Currently, I'm also addicted to Monster Hunter, so I'm planning on doing an Iceborne Gauntlet one of these days. And yeah, those are the two big social media platforms that I use. Where can they find you, Nbeard?
I'm not too worried about my own social media. I'm not a big social media guy. What I do want to give a shout out to is if you are not already following them, first of all, follow Artful Hobbes, especially if you are potentially interested in seeing more of this. And, you know, make sure you're following @Esports Alberta both here and on Twitter for any Alberta events in gaming. And, you know, obviously going to give a shout out to Smash Logic as well. Been doing these events for years, and hopefully with fingers crossed, next year we'll be able to get back into actual live events. But this has definitely been a really great online event for a lot of people. So yeah, just make sure you support your local communities. Esports Alberta, if you're in Alberta, will be able to kind of good place to look for a lot of those. So
All right.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that just wraps her up, so I guess I'll probably just keep talking until they cut me off. Thanks, man.
Have a good one.
Thanks for having me on as well. Really enjoyed it.